Hey guys, welcome back to Scream Queen Stream. So, if you guys remember, a few months ago, I was honored to have my newest film, A Bad Place, premiere at Cinequest. Now, unfortunately, Cinequest didn't go as planned because the pandemic happened right during the first week. That being said, I was holding off on sharing with you the footage from Cinequest because I wasn't sure if I was going to be going back to the summer edition, if the summer edition was going to happen, etc. So it looks like, sadly, the summer edition is not going to happen. As you guys know who are here in America, we are still very much in the middle of this pandemic. They are going to be doing an online version. I will link down below. I am not sure if my team will be involved with that or not because we are nervous about torrents. That being said, I love Cinequest so much, and I wanted to share with you some of the clips and information that I got from the actual festival. So here is going to be an interview with two very talented filmmakers, the first of which is for the feature film Survival Skills. It is directed by Quinn Armstrong, and I'm going to read you the synopsis. It says that Survival Skills is a lost training video from the 1980s. In it, Jim, the perfect policeman, gets in over his head when he tries to resolve a domestic violence case outside of the law. Now, obviously, it's very timely. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really well made. I was really impressed at the originality behind it, and it was really, really fun to watch. And the second film is a short film that played prior to Survival Skills called Audio Guide. So Audio Guide is a 14-minute short done by an Australian director named Chris Elena, and the synopsis is, a young woman is told the secrets of the world through an art gallery issued audio guide. So here is their Q&A after Cinequest. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and I'll put some links down below if you want to find out more about either of these projects. Thanks.
Yeah, so I spent a number of years working volunteering in domestic violence shelters, where this kind of core situation of wanting to do something but being frustrated by the rules is an everyday thing. The thing about it being like a comedy is that's a bait and switch. You know, you look at the program and you're like, oh, this fun like VHS thing, and then you're treated to like a sober dissection of domestic violence law. So I can only apologize for that. But I feel like, you know, you have to work a way around it, because if it's just this sort of earnest thing of like, this is what it's like, I find that I can't absorb the information weirdly, you know what I mean? And so I wanted to do something that gave you an angle to like fix it in your brain.
Made it accessible for us.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I suppose. Yeah, I hope.
Thank you. Let's jump back and forth. So we've got Chris here all the way from Australia.
Yeah.
You went deep pretty quickly on that one. So I think you went deep, right, philosophically. And so let's just jump to the chase. Here, I'll give you two options in terms of questions. One, where do I buy this device, because it's most intriguing? Or two, you know, is there an ultimate truth to discover in the universe?
I'm glad I didn't get that question.
Question 2, that's too deep. Question 1 came up. No, it's not came up. I don't know where to begin with answering question 2, which I guess is coming back at me by giving you that film, which is 14 minutes too deep, and it's a lot. Yeah, no, I didn't mean to. It wasn't intentional, but yes.
So to break it down,
Yes.
was there something in your background that led you to contemplate such an intriguing question?
Well, it came from our writer, Lee Zachariah, who came up with the concept, and it was the concept then where I took that from there and explored things like domestic violence, like Indigenous deaths in police custody, which is only briefly mentioned, and also alternate histories and being told something is true and then just believing it instead of questioning if it's true or not. So using questions that I had had for forever and then applying that to a high concept, and then grounding that high concept so we can watch it and believe it in 14 minutes.
You're so hooked us now.
Thank you.
So how do I link audio with these two topics, right? I came up with one. So watching Survival Skills, there was a sense of video high fidelity deprivation, right? So I'm so intrigued by the techniques, but also what I realized is by not having high def, I was actually listening much more intently. And I noticed your soundscape was actually very, very carefully manicured. And you know, two specific technical questions there. One, how do you capture Stacy Keach's voice so well? And two, your static was really synced with the video. It looks like you must have been shooting in high def. I thought it was Betamax or VHS first, but how did you produce the static that synced it?
So for the first question, you'd have to ask our on-set sound mixer, Joe Agredano, who is not here. But Stacy is such a pro. It is astonishing. He's been doing voiceover and all this stuff for years that it really, you just, like this, we just pointed at him and all this magic would come out of it. For the VHS thing, so what we did is we shot this on an Alexa, which is an Arri Alexa, which is a digital camera. It's like a fancy digital camera. And we cut the whole thing. We edited the movie. Then we took it and put it on Super VHS, which is, a version of VHS that is a little higher quality and a little more durable. Then we took VCRs, popped the top off of them, ran the movie, and I used magnets and knives and fire. Seriously, you can use magnets to create specific patterns and knives to create tape wrinkle and that sort of thing. The problem with that is the magnets wear out the VCRs in like 10 minutes, so I had 40 mangled VCRs in my apartment for like 3 months. Which is, the price to pay.
Amazing. The other thing I think that was an intentional side effect is that when you brought us back into a high fidelity image, the intensity was so much stronger.
Yeah, I sort of wanted it to feel like walking outside after seeing a movie. You've been sitting there watching this 2D screen and then you're out in the world all kind of stunned. And that was kind of what we were going for, is like, this is not a game anymore.
Brilliant. Thank you. Questions from the audience? Oh, there's so many intrigued. Yes, sir.
Question for Quinn. Did you pay homage to any particular directors? David Lynch made for the driving scene. Is there particularly inspired by Cyber?
Any directors as an inspiration for your work here?
So there's a guy, I forget his name, Rob something, who made a ton of these police training videos, and he made one called Surviving Edged Weapons, which is, I highly recommend it. It's on YouTube, it's an hour long, it's amazing. But he did a lot of industrial and safety videos. He was like the guy for that for years in the 80s. And the thing is, we couldn't really do anything. My poor cinematographer was like, oh, we're gonna do all this cool stuff with lights and that sort of thing. I'm like, no, we're not. We're gonna light it flat. They're gonna sit down, we're gonna do a master shot and over, and that's it. Until the very end. But she was very patient with me, which I appreciate.
Thank you. Let's see, we've got time for maybe one or two more questions. Anything burning out there? I know I've got a million. Let's see, maybe on the audio guide. So I'm always interested. Yeah.
Chris. I've it's being tested. This is the second time I've seen this. Can you talk about because you shot it on film,
Yes.
which is not easy, and I'd love to hear about what the decision-making process was behind that, and why you felt you needed it on film.
Thank you for asking that, to be honest. No, I'm not joking. It's very kind. To shoot on film in Australia is near impossible. When you ring Panavision and say you want to shoot on film, they laugh and hang up. So you often have to really justify it. A couple of things are, one, we open on an art gallery and I wanted the film to feel warm and colourful like an artwork. So I wanted, if we're going to leave the gallery, I still wanted to have echoes of that gallery when you're looking at a painting. And I think the celluloid and film captures is more like a painting than digital is, because I didn't say this, another filmmaker did, digital pushes colour away, film brings it back in. So it's the idea of making the film warmer, especially when it's a scenario that's quite, again, high concept and quite jarring. So if we can make it feel warm with visuals, especially with the fact that our lead doesn't speak, that was a plus for us, and that was a big help. And number two, I wanted it to feel timeless. It's a movie about a device that says funny things. It's a demonic iPod. So I didn't say that, a friend did. So I want the fact that it's a technological device that feels that if I told you the concept, feels current and new. But I wanted to feel timeless. I wanted to feel like it could have been shot in the 80s and then I brought it to you now. So the feeling of timelessness, especially the fact that the device picks up, is telling you information about the past and about old histories that we don't know about. So I wanted to feel like it's been unearthed somehow, so it feels old.
And I think the pairing of the two was genius because it looks so good. And then we get hit with this VHS, you know. Yes, it's true artwork. So I'm always curious because I think filmmaking is an act of courage. That you need a community that builds up your courage and your confidence. Can you talk about, you know, what was around you in terms of people and support that gave you the courage to take on these projects?
Sure. I can tell you, and I can give you visual aids. There's a man named Colin West who's sitting right there. He's got a beard and a hat. He was the first person who read this script. He was the person who came to me and said, "Let's do this. Let's do it for real." I was like, okay, great. He is a magical man of amazing filmmaking ability on his own as well. Next to him is our editor, Kira Burton, who I've known for years and is the best editor I've ever met in my life. Mike Downing, another of our producers, and Mayu O'Donnell, who played Jim, is sitting right center there. Look at him. Without him, we wouldn't have a movie. Amazing. So that's my community. Those are the people who really made this movie. So if you have anything mean to say it to them.
So it started with the writer whose work I admired for so long, and they'd been having writer's block, and they said, "Well, write something for me, and if I can really work with it, I'll make it and I'll shoot it on film." And then he gave me something, and he kept encouraging me to just do my own thing with it, which meant a lot. It's first and foremost my partner, who's sitting there. She's second AD on the film as well. When you say to your partner, we're going to make a short film on film, and we have no money, that's a partner who goes, "Fine, okay," and I'm like, "You have to." That's a lot. So she's braver than I am. Our EP there, Tracy, she supported us shooting on film, giving us money to make the film, and Nikki, our publicist, kept encouraging us also to make the film. And then friends, who I just said, "I need you for a weekend. I need to steal your weekends. I know you work 40 to 50 hours a week. Give me that time." And then we went to locations and just begged, and it's a matter of it kept escalating where people just said, "All right, we'll give you 1 weekend. You get one." So we shot in 2.5 days, so that was just that, escalating from there.
Brilliant. I think this is a good rehearsal for Academy Awards, right? That was very well done recognition run through. I'm afraid we're out of time here, but we might continue chatting in the lobby, or later this evening, some folks might head over to Glass House. But let's hear it again for 2 brilliant films.